attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. Now, this is probably going to be out a little bit later because I had to do a bit of research and looking things up. Since I'm doing a Punisher What If, and I'm bringing the whole hunting down demons and angel thing, I wanted to see if I could find out if it was real. And I looked it up. After a couple minutes of searching, well, really, minutes is saying something. Probably about 40 minutes of searching, I think. I didn't really time it. I found out that there are actually angels, like angels in Marvel Comics, but I believe that they said that it was only a recent addition. So I'm bringing in the powers of those angels. And I'm trying to restrict myself to that. So I can't just say, oh yeah, Deku can do this. I can just pull this from something else and say he can do it. I don't want to be that guy. And well, actually, some of this does work out. I could list down everything. Or probably even, I would say take a picture, but my handwriting is very bad. Anyways, now, that was off topic. Let's begin. Midoriya. He was walking through a busy street. Along with that, he actually did have to dump his clothing and create new pairs. Midoriya doing that and then creating something to cover part of his face, along with a pair of glasses. This being how he walked down the street. Now, his guardian angel is going over exactly what they can do. Their abilities. Midoriya was granted the, basically, ability to create objects and weaponry, along with being given access to the angelic weaponsmith. He has speed, strength, stamina, and healing abilities. He also has the fallen angel wings, and as she calls it, the yin-yang sight, in order to judge somebody upon the color of their soul. And well, Midoriya does not have these powers yet, but she believes that she can teach him. She can teach him how to use magic. And, well, yeah. Opening him up to the world of magic would really be something. And Midoriya, just hearing that, just thinks, what the hell have I gotten into? Now, Midoriya does actually go somewhere to hide. And while he is doing that, let us cut over to UA. They've gotten everyone together. And, well, they found bodies. Momo and Jiro, they felt bad. In fact, they also did feel terrible for what happened. Heroes not only did not get there in time, but by the time that they did, a lot of people died. A total of half of their class. Now, with that being said, here are the casualties. Or, well, the survivors, I could say. That'd be a whole lot easier since I did not write down the casualties. Okay. Todoroki Shoto survived. Momo Yairozu. Kyoka Jiro, Katsuki Bakugo, Mina Ashido, Ida Tenya, Toru Hakakure, Kirishima, shit, I don't know his last name, Kendo, and Asui. all 10 of those students survived. As for how they survived, Todoroki was able to survive by using his quirk, and reluctantly, it turned into a firefight. Todoroki, he does have scratches and, well, cuts deep into his arm, and small parts of his torso. Along with that, someone also did try and cut him in his face. Todoroki does feel deep pain from these cuts, and he does actually need to go to a hospital. While Momo Yayorozu, she is injured and does at least have second to first degree burns, somewhere between those two, and she will need to be treated for those, but other than that, she should be close to fine. Meanwhile, Jiro, a demon did try and grab her and get close to her, and tear her apart. It was able to break her arm and part of her wrist. However, she then used her quirk and blasted it with a large amount of sound, rattling its skull completely, and actually being able to protect herself from all the other villains around her. She simply then just ran after that. Bakugo, his way of survival was quite simple. Him and Kirishima were fighting Kurogiri, and anytime more villains tried to back him up, yeah, Kurogiri basically would just jump all the way around and basically just throw everyone into the portal at once. That was his way of trying to get them, or simply mess with them. Meanwhile, Mina, she's able to melt some villains. She basically ran off and went to go hide. Whenever she was going to be found out, yeah, she simply just threw acid at people, and they had to basically either run or discard their clothing. And well, she did not encounter a demon. Ida, who ran to get heroes, it's obvious how he survived. Toru Hakakure. The way she survived was quite simple. She removed her gloves and her shoes, and simply hit against a wall. I went over Kirishima, and then you do have Kendo. Whenever demons did try and fight her and take her on, and some villains, she simply began to fight. In fact, well, her giant hands, she was able to basically fling around villains. However, she does have a broken arm, and deep gashes all across her hands. And then you do have Asui. Demons did not want to approach the water. They did not know if it was a holy place or not. And the way she survived was quite simple. She was on the boat the whole time, up until her and Mineta had to try and leave. Whenever they tried to leave, Asui simply stayed in the water for a little bit. Whenever Mineta ran his way to shore, he was immediately hit with Shigaraki's quirk. And Asui, seeing that, immediately bolted further into the water, and swam across the lake as fast as she could, being able to stay away from villains. Since they are trying to be cautious, they don't know this girl's quirk. Now, that is who survived. And roughly about an hour or two later, they announced on the news exactly what happened, and casualty rates for UA, explaining that the villains attacked the USJ, and they killed half of Class 1A, along with seriously injuring a teacher, and putting him at a point of near death. His injuries were very bad. Part of his skull was crushed, he had a broken arm, and a lot of the flesh around one of them was actually stripped away. Along with going over the fact that he had broken ribs, broken legs. Yeah. He got the shit kicked out of him. Now, along with that, they also do announce that they are quite aware of who the Punisher is. The vigilante who has been on a murder spree. And he showed up here today In fact, him and another student from our school, they created a robot and or a possible mech suit. They were going to display it at the upcoming sports festival. However, that was what Mei Hatsume and Izuku Midoriya were doing, as a picture pops up on screen. It being a few of them. Midoriya from one side of his face, then another one. And then it shows Midoriya back in that courtroom case, where he's screaming at the judge. It's simply just going off saying that Izuku Midoriya is the Punisher. And they believe that sometime around this date, he may have began his crusade. Evidence sort of does match up and align. However, it is unsure of if he killed the man that was deemed innocent of his parents' murder. We do have reason to believe that he did kill the man. However, that would go against his code, not to kill an innocent person. And the boy was there at the incident. So, I guess you could say that he took justice into his own hands. One of the news reporters simply going on to state that, in their point of view, the Punisher is doing good work. Killing people, though, is a bit excessive. They will give him that. While the other person argues that taking a life should not be the first answer, nor should it be your first choice on how to handle a situation. Now, let us cut to later on into the day, and or at night. Midoriya. He's simply at a safe house. He was going to head to the storage unit, but if he goes there, then there's probably going to be a ton of cops waiting for him. So, he's just going to have to stay here for now. He broke into an abandoned building, and the place was actually quite roomy. However, looking at the news and seeing what many people are talking about, the reveal, many people are coming forward to say that they actually do support him, while a lot of others are against him. In fact, the entire hero organization is against him, and even the gun hero Snipe did give a statement. Whenever he uses his weaponry, he does not aim for vital areas, nor does he try and aim for arteries. However, this boy is simply making a firearm look very dangerous. He is well aware that he could take a human life, but he simply does not, because it goes against his own code. That was the only statement Mr. Snipe gave to the authorities. Or, not the authorities, the news station. Now, with that being said, Mei Hatsume, whenever she does get home and actually begin to try and piece things together about what happened today, she does actually get a phone call. And she does answer it, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. She didn't check the caller ID, and whenever Midoriya's voice comes in through the other end, yeah, it immediately catches her off guard. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does say, hey, uh, uh, hey, so, do you want to explain to me what you just did? Well, I can, but it probably won't make sense to you. Just tell me. Listen, I exposed myself at the USJ. I didn't mean to, but there were demons there. And, well, this is probably going to sound very bad, but my instincts took over. I destroyed this thing there. It wasn't human, it was a monster. Then I had to make sure I could protect everyone. Sadly, though, a lot of people died. And it's not good. Yeah, I heard about that. But, I mean, hell. You killed people. Yeah, I know. I don't regret it. They all deserved it. They weren't innocent. You wanna know the way I saw it? Their souls were pitch black. Not even a hint of gray. What are you talking about? It's the way I see them. I can't describe it. It's like this yin yang thing with my eyes. In fact, whenever I saw you earlier today, you were pure white. White as snow. Completely innocent. And whenever I look down at my own hands, I see it. Nothing but pitch black. Nothing. I never wanted to go down this path. In fact, you wanna know something I've never told anyone? The night that I killed the man who took my parents away from me, I was nervous. I ambushed the man after he went out of a bar, whenever he was drunk. And I was lucky I didn't get shot that night. I was very reckless and very stupid. Stop. No, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. I have not told this to anyone. I'm trying to be honest. Just please hear me out. Fine. Go ahead. Though I'm gonna put you on speaker. I do need to get the oil off my hands. Alright. Her putting Midoriya on speaker. As he continues talking. May quickly rinsing off her hands and washing them, getting oil off of them before she does dry her hands and pick up the rag. Well, she picks up a rag to dry off her hands, and then she picks up the phone, putting it off the speaker. In that amount of time, 20 seconds, I believe, Midoriya went over what he did. He ambushed the man and simply beat the shit out of him in a phone booth. And he stabbed the man through his hand or his palm with a piece of glass, and the guy dropped a gun. He's pretty sure that was the same gun he used to kill his parents. He didn't use it on him. No, he didn't. He also did something else. He went to a car wash, and, well, he took a piece off of a power washer, and then filled up 2 very large buckets full of water. And, well, he also bought a shovel. That being where she took him off a speaker. Simply just asking exactly what does that have to do with anything. To which he goes on stating. He then pulled up to the gas pumps, took money out of the center console and went inside. Bought a gas can and filled it up. Her simply just confused, wondering what that has to do with anything. Midoriya simply just stating that that was what he used for another thing. He's not going to get into detail about it, but that one was darker. After that, I went to the middle of the forest. I, well, buried the man in a box. A very big one. Then, one thing I did, I put a hole in it. And whenever he woke up, I went easy on him. I tried to give him an easy way out. I did not want to do it. My hands were shaking, and as soon as I was done with it, I walked away. But I vomited afterward, too. Taking a life isn't easy, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone else. The man drowned in a coffin. I poured water in it and made sure he could not breathe. I gave him one chance. I put him in a lot of fear. The man drowned to death in a confined space. Do you understand? Jesus. Yeah. I still hear a lot of people in my head. I see their faces. And do you wanna know how many I've killed so far? So far? I'm not stopping. I can't. Not now. I've killed 1,582 people. I saw those casualty reports. I'm a murderer. And I can't be redeemed. Please. You're joking. What? What are you talking about? You can't be redeemed. Of course not. You killed all those people. But you saved how many? I don't know. Tell me, how many muggers do you stop on the street at night, average? About 5 a week, I guess? Maybe more? That number used to be higher. And how many people were involved in each one of those instances? Usually one, right? Yeah. So, not on wouldn't you say that you saved half the amount of lives that you've had to take? I, I guess. Good. Now, where are you? Well, I can't tell you. Well, just tell me then. I promise I won't tell anyone. Well, first off, I'm somewhere in the city. I haven't gotten out yet. I'm still gonna stay here. Whenever I do eventually leave, it's probably gonna be for good. But for right now, I'm gonna be going underground. But I do want you to know one thing. Check on your doorstep. What? Just do it. I put down an address on a piece of paper and a key. Head there. If it hasn't been already, then one day the police are gonna ransack that place. There's a drawer in there. It's a storage unit. I put in designs for something. Something I thought that we could build together one day. But I don't believe we could. The only problem was a power source. So, hopefully this isn't the end. And, well, out to see you again one day, my friend. Friend? You're my closest friend, May. You know how long it's been since I've been able to say that word? Besides, whenever you found out who I was, you didn't just run away. You were calm. You were collective. Like a soldier. My dad would have liked you. In fact, I wish that you could meet him. My life's just been hell. And someone's trying to control my actions all over again. Are you okay? No, I'm not. I'm not okay. Pretty far from it. I'm just gonna go. Alright? Yeah, okay. But what are you leaving me? An idea. And with that, Midoriya hangs up the phone. And May does do what she was told. Looking underneath the mat and finding a key. And the next morning, with them getting 2 weeks off, she simply heads to the storage unit. Cops are not here yet. In fact, it's odd. And well, whenever she does arrive, she does look around, looking at this paper and finding out exactly what she needs to do. Heading there, she does actually stop in front of the unit and open it, unlocking it and throwing up the wall. Watching as this place just looks like an ordinary storage unit. Walking in and seeing what's going on. Whenever she does actually look over the couch, though, that's sitting in front of everything, she actually does see it. Ginormous bags. And, well, knives on the floor, and stacks of ammunition against the wall. as she simply just bends down and zips open a ginormous bag, looking in and seeing a very, very big arsenal of firearms, and simply just thinking for a minute, exactly what is this? Before she does actually look around a bit more, and she sees exactly what Midoriya wanted her to find. The drawer. She opens it and looks in. And, well, she pulls out a notebook, simply just labeled ideas. And she begins to flip through it, looking at it and seeing how things are, before finally stopping on a page. It is labeled. And this idea Midoriya had, already just looking at it, it looks amazing. It looks, well, possible. But he was right. There's nothing that small that could power something that big. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna not sugarcoat it for people who don't understand this reference. Midoriya, his project is simply labeled War Machine. And this idea will come to fruition. May knows that it's possible to build a suit like that, but the power source is going to be weird to figure out. Now, with that being said, she does leave. And as soon as she does get out of the area and walk out of the place, she does hear police cars pull up as she gets down the block, watching as they all immediately jump out of the cars and go to walk into the place. That being whenever the SWAT team drives directly by May, her simply just turning and watching all this happen, as the entire place gets surrounded. And they get to Midoriya's storage units. The reason why they didn't go there directly after UA the other day is because the storage unit was put in place where it was put in underneath Mitsuki's name. And after it was brought up that they had something like that, they thought that Midoriya might be there. And the idea was quickly posed since it was talked about how Midoriya's dad had guns in bags there. He had weapons sealed away in that room, and they got confiscated by the authorities. Now, with that out of the way, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. Catch you guys in the next part.